Well, around this time every year, you see stories on your television news about security in Times Square for New Year's Eve. But it's a little bit different this year with these truck barriers being added in response to what we've seen overseas. The former commissioner of the New York City Police Department, Howard Safir, joins us. Mr. Safir, it's good to talk to you, but well, this is, and there are signs of this all the time, of new normals, and this is one that's put in place. I guess it's something that just needs to be done, though, right?
Absolutely. We live in a very dangerous world. What happened in Berlin, what happened in Nice are just, targets that were not expected. So what the NYPD and departments in New Orleans and in Chicago and Boston are doing is they're creating a perimeter around the celebration zones with sand trucks, with blocker cars. They're using radiation detectors. They're using explosive detectors, and literally thousands of police officers.
The one thing I always worry about when I hear about a situation like that, for example, Times Square here in New York, there'll be millions of people inside what you rightly describe as a perimeter, is what about the people just outside of the perimeter? These attacks have become so easy to carry out if you have the motivation to do so, as we've seen, unfortunately, overseas, that they are difficult to stop. I know maybe within this perimeter where you're so focused on it, you can stop it, hopefully, but in other areas, it's very difficult, right?
Well, there are no guarantees, but the fact is, for instance, in New York, the NYPD will have 7,000 police officers out, right, not just in Times Square, but throughout the city. They'll have special weapons teams. They'll have helicopters. They'll have people on rooftops. They'll have harbor and aviation working. So, you can't guarantee anything. What keeps a commissioner up at night is that lone individual who's not on anybody's radar, who somehow slips through something. But, I stood under that ball for 7 years, and we were able to protect New York, and I have no doubt that the NYPD will do it again tomorrow night.
Right.
But the fact is, there's a lot of targets in this country, and that's what we have to worry about. And
sometimes they're targets, as we saw in San Bernardino or in Orlando, that you wouldn't think of off the top of your head. Where are we, do you think, just to kind of an overall view as we end the year in fighting terrorism? Sometimes we do a great job, obviously. Other times it seems like we can be reactionary. We do something like what we're doing here with these, you see the targets overseas, so now we're worried about trucks. When there was a threat of a shoe bombing, then we took our shoes off at the airport. So sometimes we are reacting. Are you at all concerned that there's something out there that we're missing, that we don't see?
I'm always concerned. We have a very intelligent, well-financed, well-organized enemy in ISIS. Fortunately, we have a new president who is going to pay more attention and is going to acknowledge the fact that Islamic terrorism is the enemy and not kind of skirt around it as the previous administration has done. What we need to do is we need to be vigilant, and of course the public needs to be vigilant as well. That saying, see something, say something, has worked and prevented many, many terrorist attacks. So we need the public to participate as well.
Years ago, it worked even right in that area. So,
worked in Times Square, and it also worked in the bombing that took place recently in New York, where fortunately nobody was killed, but somebody walking down the street found a second device.
That's right. In the Chelsea attacks, right, just up the block there was that second device, and somebody saw it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Happy New Year to you, and we appreciate your insights on all this.
A happy and safe New Year to you as well.